Hello there, it's Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and a new card making video. Today I am playing with some of the newest released products from Trinity Stamps. I'm so in love with all the paw print things they have, like this paw print heart stencil. Now back in, I believe February, they had a stencil came out that was a clover heart. So now they have the paw print heart and I loved that one so much. I knew I was going to have fun with this paw print stencil. So I'm making two cards with it today. We're going to start out with that stencil and working on a piece of craft cardstock. Now, both of my cards today are going to be 5 by 7. So this panel here is just a hair under that at 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. That's the measurement. Okay, I'm taking some texture paste here. It's translucent, and I put in some drops of liquid color, like some dye-based ink in brown. So I'm mixing that in. For some reason, I didn't capture on video when I dropped the color on there, but I just mixed it up. So now I have this brown texture paste, and I love it because it is going to give these paws the texture like an actual paw has, and it's so cute. So I am doing that for this background here. I will make two. So there's the first one, and I'm going to leave it just like that and let it dry. Isn't that cool, the texture in there? I had enough paste left over, so I'm doing a second background on the same size, same color of paper, same stencil, and this time I'm going to put down that paste, and that's going to kind of act as a glue for me to add on something else. So I'll remove the stencil. I think I could have left the stencil in place to do this next step, which is add flocking. I'm using a very tender hand to apply this so that I don't like smush any of the paw prints, and this is going to give each of those a really fuzzy appearance, and it's so very cute because I figured with this stencil I don't have to limit it to just puppy dog cards. I wanted to use it for bears and cats also, so I'll be doing bears and dogs in today's video, but look at that with them all fuzzy. It's so cute. All right, we're gonna let those backgrounds dry. They do need a minute because of that paste, but I had more paste left over, so I just took what was left and smeared it on a scrap of cardstock here, and I'm going to use that for a little like bonus project for today's video. So we'll let that dry as well, and then we're going to just turn these into some cards. Let's take a look at the die set I'm going to use. This new die set, Paper Hugs, coordinates with these heart stencils. There are 3 different hearts in here as well as some words. So let's take a close-up look because this outer heart right here, it has perforated lines. It's going to die cut into your paper so you can put that around your stenciled heart. There's also a die to cut that heart out, and then we have our dainty scallop heart. So Trinity Stamps is known for that dainty scalloped. They have them in like squares and circles and all the shapes. So I love that we have that option on here as well. So you can see how nicely this fits around both the paw print heart and the clover heart if you already have that one. So I'm going to go ahead and die cut out both of mine. You can see when you die cut this, you get a nice border all the way around. It's a smooth edge and it works really good. I just love that I have this option with my stencils. It just opens up so many more possibilities for making cards and projects with these stencils. So there you can see the fuzzy one and the texture paste one, and also you can save that fallout piece and use it for something else. This would make great shaker cards, this die set. So for my card today, I am going to do a perforated line all the way around. You can see that here. It works so good. And then I'm going to die cut out the words so you can see what those look like as well. And I'm doing that same craft cardstock from the words, and then I'll do the shadow layer from black, and they look so good together. This is really gonna like be the color scheme of my first card. So make sure you save that teeny tiny dot there for the eye. We don't want to lose that. Okay, let's take all of these things and turn it into this gorgeous card right here. I am pulling out an oldie but a goodie, the Best Tea Party Stamp Set. I love the bear and the stump in this one, so I'm going to stamp those out, plus a couple bees and a sentiment. You'll always be my bestie. And now it's time to jump into some coloring. I am going to color my bear, so it is a little black bear, so I'm starting with N9 as my darkest color and laying down where I want the darkest spots to be, the shadows. And I like to be pretty conservative when adding down the shadows when I'm doing black, I can always go back in and do a second layer. So then I brought in my N7 and my, or sorry, T7 and my T5 marker, and you can see it is pretty light here, but like I said, I am conservative when coloring with black. I don't want to go too heavy-handed because I can never go back, but I can always add more if I want to. So I actually did go over the bear 2 times so I could make some parts darker, and he turned out really cute. So then for his muzzle and his belly, he's getting those colored in brown. I did E57 as my darkest color, and then came in with E25 and then E23, I believe, E13 actually, to soften that out. And he's just adorable. I think he's so cute. So next, let's move on to that stump. So we're just going to color it like a tree. I'm going in with E47, actually doing some of the same colors that I did on the bear's tummy. I really like things to be matchy-matchy. So I am working again, putting in my darkest color rather sparingly, and then I can always add more if I want to as I go along, which I will end up doing. So here's E25 as my mid-tone, and I'm really starting to add lots more color in with this, and then E13 as my lightest, and that's going to give me a nice highlight. Next, I have Y19 for my bees and my flower, and by the way, bees' faces are black, so that's why they are using that dark gray color. And then my little mushroom and teacup are going to be R17. I will fill the cup with tea. And by the way, he has a back arm that I forgot to color the first time. It's a tiny little sliver. So I did end up doing that. And I left the tea bag paper white on this particular card. All right, so there we have all the colored images and the markers I used. In case you want to like pause that, see the exact colors more clearly, you can do that. I like to bring everything to life with a little bit of highlight using my white gel pen. So I'm just adding some lines and dots there for highlights, and I love that look, but these are going to be so cute. Even if you don't do white gel pen, it's just up to you, personal preference. Okay, now that that's done, we're going to move on to die cutting these out with the coordinating dies. This die set, like so many from Trinity Stamps, has coordinating dies for all the images in there. So taped those down and cut them out. You can see what they look like right here. I always get a satisfaction when seeing my colored images die cut out. Okay, next I am bringing in this pierced heart. It's from the Racetrack Heart die set. I liked it because it has that perforated line, which matches the perforated line that I added to the background. So, you know, I'm just repeating that kind of stitched element there. I'm gluing down my heart. Now, this is the one with the fuzzy paw prints. And then I just sat down my bear on his stump, didn't stick it down, but I needed it as a reference. So I could easily now glue down my sending paper. I didn't do hugs yet because I wanted to add the other heart first. Again, just making sure everything's going to fit where I want it to go before really committing with glue. I added my stamped sentiment there to the red heart, and then the bear and the stump are getting added last, but now I know everything's going to fit right where I want it. I added those little bees for a fun touch. I think love is in the details, and those bees certainly are that thing. But I have one more detail I'm going to add that makes me so happy after adding this to my 5x7 card base in yellow, which just really brightens it up a little bit and draws the eye in. I wanted to add an embellishment. This is the part I'm so excited about because these are black jelly hearts. So this is going to add a little extra something special without being too much. Because it's the same color as the paper, it's just shiny versus the matte paper. So they still show up really good, but they're not too busy. And I love that added touch of the black jelly hearts. So that is my first card using the paw print heart stencil. I'm in love with it. I love that stencil. It's so fun. So next I want to use the other background with the paw prints made with texture paste. So we're going to make a dog card, which means I am pulling out the Puppy Party Slimline stamp set. So this has a row of dogs. I really just want one. And out of this row of dogs, there are 4 that you can easily cut out because they're in front of the other dogs. So I'm going to color this little dog to look like my dog, who's a cockapoo. His name is Toby, and he is this kind of really light tan blondish color. So I have E55 and E53 to color him in. The only thing is that my dog's tail was cut when he was a puppy before we got him. So this is what Toby might look like if he did have a tail. All right, there he is, and now it's time to cut him out. Because I want just this one dog, I'm not going to be able to use the die. It's a die that cuts out all the dogs in a row. So it's time to fussy cut, and I'm going to cut this out right on the black line so I can't see any of the other dogs around it. And so that requires, you know, going slow, but I was able to speed this up for you through the magic of video editing. And when you're doing this, don't worry about it being perfect, but really do just try to cut on the black line. When you're done, it might not look perfect, but if you take a black marker and you color really lightly on the edge of the paper, it hides so many of the imperfections and really makes you look like you're good at fussy cutting. So trust me, this is a really good tip to follow. So that's going to finish out my little dog. He's going to look so cute on this card. He is getting a few highlights on his nose and his eyes. It just really helps bring it to life instead of having a flat black eye. I really like it. I decided that this card was going to be a birthday card. So in this puppy party set, there are hats and this little party blower. So I'm going to add those to this, and that's really going to give him a birthday look. It makes it a lot more fun, a little extra something special. And the thing about this is I am going to have to fussy cut these out as well, so it matches the dog, even though there are dies to cut it out. So steady-handed, and again, the black marker trick does wonders. I'm going to add that hat to his little head and the party blower to his mouth, and he's ready to go. So cute. All right, now we need a sentiment for this card. In this set, there's plenty of punny sentiments, so I chose Yappy Birthday. I'm going to stamp this on red paper with Versamark ink and emboss it with white powder. I love white letters on colored paper, so this is going to be perfect. So we're using the embossing gun that will melt that powder, and now it's going to be raised up and shiny. I love it. Also, what I love is that Trinity Stamps has dies to cut out their words that give it a bubble cut effect. I love that look. So here you can see what that looks like. See how it goes around each letter? Very cool. All right, so that's ready to go. And now we need a little something special on our card. So I'm going to die cut the heart with this yellow paper, and at the same time, I'm throwing in that dainty scallop. This is going to give me a frame, which is really cool, cutting them together. Now it's going to be really thin, so you got to be careful with it, and it will make a perfect border or an outline to go around that die cut heart. But remember, you could save these pieces and make something else with them. Do a little inlay like that with white. Lots of choices with this die set, whether you use it with or without the paw print stencil. So we're going to glue this down. I am going to try to be a little bit generous with the glue, just because we're going over some areas where it will touch the texture paste. So I'm going to let that set for a minute to make sure it really has a chance to adhere while I do some embossing on my card base. Again, this card is also 5x7, so I'm treating it with anti-static powder, and then I'm taking this confetti stamp from that Puppy Party stamp set, and I'm going to stamp it all over this background with my Versamark ink so I can emboss it. And to emboss it, I am going to use my Lumberjack Plaid Distress Embossing Glaze. So this does have some translucency to it, but it's also a darker red color than my paper. So it's going to be the perfect thing, not too busy, again, for my red cardstock background. So we'll melt that, and it's going to be raised up and shiny and the perfect accent to the background of this card. So I love it. I think it just adds that fun party feel. I'm just dusting off the excess embossing powder here, and my background is ready to go. I'm adding that to a white 5x7 card base this time, and then we can add on our other elements. So I have my heart here with the paw prints on it, and I'm popping that up with some foam squares. My little puppy I'm adding on with foam squares as well, and I'm adding liquid glue just because it's going over a textured background. Same with my sentiment, foam strips, and glue. Next, I have some cinnamon red hearts. I'm like, I already used hearts on my previous card for an embellishment, so I might as well add some to this one as well. Now, these are a little bit translucent, so they are going to pick up some of the color from the background, and I love that. It just is a little bit subtle, but enough for this embellishment. So now I have 2 cards ready to go with this paw print stencil. I think it is such a fun stencil. But now we're going to move on to a coordinating birthday tag using the paw print shaker tag die set. And that background where I used up my extra textured paste, I cut out the frame part of this stencil set. Now you can use the frame, but you can also save and use those fallout pieces. So 2 ways to use this paw tag, and I love that because then I don't feel like I'm wasting those fallout pieces. So I die cut the tag part or the solid paw print twice so you can see you can use the frame or those fallout pieces, and both make darling tags. These would be really fun for like a birthday present or on a party favor. If you had like a pet themed party, they'd be really cute for that too. All right, so we're going to stamp on the back of these. There's a stamp in that puppy party set that says "You're positively amazing." It fits perfectly on the back of this tag. Plus, it's like the perfect sentiment for a paw tag. So I stamped those out, and then I set to gluing down the pieces. Here you can see what it looks like with the fallout pieces, and then with the frame, we're going to make a shaker. So I die cut out several more of these from some brown cardstock, and that is going to lift this up and make my shaker element reservoir, as I like to call it, a place to keep the shaker bits. So I glued all of those together. I think I did 7, and then glued that stack down to my solid paw print. And then the one that was cut from the texture paste, I'm going to glue onto a window sheet first. Now on the window sheet, I don't need that little tag part, so I ended up cutting that off. Now I have this heart mix. I'm going to take out just the smallest red hearts, and I'm going to put some in each of those spots. Now you could also use some foam tape if you had some thin enough. The foam tape or foam strips from Trinity Stamps do actually work around this tag if you just go around the outside and don't worry about going in between each of like the toes of the paw print. I'm also going to add some micro beads. They're clear to each of those openings, so it just helps move things around and it has a fun sound. Now I can add on that final frame that has the window sheet attached to it, and you can see I cut off the little tag part of it. I didn't need that for the top portion. So there is my shaker. I'm going to let that dry for a minute, and I'm going to embellish it with this little dog. It's from the Cozy Christmas set. It also looks like my dog, but with a tail. So I'm going to color him and give him a party hat. He's just kind of pooped from the party. So he's taking a little nap. I'm going to stick that right on the paw. And then there is a birthday sentiment I can add to this, happy birthday. And I got that from my Simply Sentimental Happy and Simply Sentimental birthday. What I didn't think about when making this is that the Simply Sentimental birthday has the word happy in it, and the Simply Sentimental happy has the word birthday in it. So I actually didn't need to use both of my sets to stamp out happy birthday. So I thought I would point that out to you in case you have these sets. The Simply Sentimental line is like one of my favorites from Trinity Stamps. I love how you can pick the style of font you want for the word happy, for example, and then you have all the supporting sentiments to go with it. Like, it's really cool. So my happy birthday, I just cut them out by hand. So I had really tight, small little strips, and then I glued that to the top of the tag. And this is really cute to add to a birthday present, a bagged gift. I'm going to leave my ribbon long because I'm not sure exactly where I'm going to add it at the moment, but I am going to add a little red and white baker's twine. It's one of my favorite twines, red and white. I love it. And I like when I can get other uses out of it besides just at Christmas. So I'll tie a little bow there to finish that off and trim down my seam binding ribbon. And then let's take a look at both of these tags side by side. I think they're both super cute. One is fast and easy, especially if you're not using texture paste. Really cute and simple and easy to make at the last minute. So I just have a paper bag here. I put some like stuffing in it to make it stand out, just so you can see how cute it would be on a gift bag or like a little party favor. So there's my birthday card and my tag. They go together really cute. And now here's all the things I made with the paw print fun. There is another paw print stencil that goes with our checkered background. I already used that on our release day hop. So if you haven't seen that video, I'm going to link it at the end of this one and you can watch it next. And I will have more videos coming out soon with some of this new release, the April release from Trinity Stamps. Plus, I'll have the whole release linked for you in the description box so you can check that out and shop all the fun things. We've got Mother's Day stuff in there as well that's really fun. So make sure you check it out, and I will see you guys again very soon on the next video. Thanks for watching, and feel free to subscribe if you're new here. I'll see you on the next one. Bye!